play out your dome, we're going to start making the holo projectors. Now the holo projectors are the three eyes, swivelly eyes that stick out of R2's dome. And what you'll need to do this is you're going to need this, and this is a tap connector. You're going to need one of these, which is actually a door handle, and one of these. And this here is a standard tap hose connector. It usually comes on an assembly like this. It's like a tap joiner, or a hose joiner, sorry. You need three of these because we make three holo projectors. This whole assembly costs about $2. Okay. You're going to need three of these as well. Now this is a 46mm ball. It's actually a draw handle. I got it from the local hardware. I wanted a wooden one, but I couldn't get it. So this one's made of like a resin composite. It's like a billiard ball kind of material, and I drill the hole right through the middle so I can run an LED light. And this, if you can't get something like this, that's okay, but this is a easy grip opener for opening up bottles. If you've got a bottle that has a tight lid, you can put this on top and open it up. The cool thing about this is this size here is exactly the size you need. You need anywhere between 51 and 56mm hole in your dome. This will fit. And you can run glue or screws around here on the inside to mount it all up. The only downfall is it's got these ridges in here, which I'll use the Dremel to grind out. So you need three of those. This was $10, this was $4, and this was $2.50. When you look at the price to actually buy these holo projectors, like $100 for three or whatever, this is a much better deal because we're going to glue that on there like that. I'm going to cut a hole through here and run that through it, and it's going to fit inside. You'll see how we do it in a minute. The first thing we're going to do though is we're going to paint this silver because we're going to need to put a lens in there later on. I'd rather do it now once it's we get it silver. So paint it silver, and then we're going to cut a lens for that. Okay, now once that's done, it doesn't have to be super smooth in there because you're going to fill it full of glue. We're going to drill a hole through the top here. And we need to drill a hole so this will go through, this part will poke through here, but without falling through. So you can't go wider than the diameter, so you want to go about that wide, top of my fingers, as opposed to this wide. Alright, that'll go through. So we're going to drill a small pilot hole in here first, and I'll put a hole saw on there and drill the next size up. I'll tell you what size it is when I work it out. I've got to drill the pilot hole in the centre, as close as we can get to the centre, so there's about anything running off. And we are going to get a 38mm hole saw to run through there. Hopefully it's not too big. Might run through a bit of plastic first, see how it looks. Turns out 38mm is too small, but I've got a 44mm hole saw as well, and that's too big. So what I'm doing is rounding it out to about 40. It's at 39 at the moment, I've got about a millimetre to go. When that's 40, it'll sit a lot better. But at the moment, it's not too bad. It just needs to poke through just that bit more, but not too much more because I don't want it to go all the way through. Well, that's pretty good. Now we need to mark a curve in here. Do that with a 20-cent piece. I'm just going to mark a curve there and a curve there. I think I just have two, and then just scallop it out. Maybe not so deep, we'll go a little bit shallower, but you want to have two of them opposite. Just shape that out with your Dremel. Once you've done those two, you want to do the opposite two. And you end up with a kind of a wavy thing like that all the way around. You should put the ball through there like this. Close to what we want. The next thing you want to do is you want to sand the shine off this and the shine off here and here as much as you can, and you've got no shine in there anyway, so it's okay. Alright. Now a lot of people make this so it's a movable object, so if kids come up and play with it, it's a moving eye, and if you have a mechanical eye, that's fine. The problem I've got is that once we paint this, because this is shiny, once we paint this silver, if that moves, it'll scratch the paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have mine fixed. So in the back here will be full of glue, so it can't move. But if you want to have yours movable, you're going to need to have some kind of backing to put across here so it doesn't fall out. No shine on the ball. Might be a slight shine, but it's sandpaper rough. You want to make that so it's not shiny at all, so you can paint it. How this is going to work? It's going to be like this. This will be through here like this, like that. This will be on top of that, like that. Your lens across here, and in here will be painted black. And this will be pushed through the dome like that. There's your Holo eye. Okay, you'll need 3 of these, what the packaging looks like. I'm going to do the other 2 and then come back to you after I've got them done, and we'll go to the gluing and painting stage. I recommend putting some cut marks in the ball. Make sure it's below this line, so it's only on this side. So when you fill it up full of glue, it'll have something extra to bite to, rather than just a smooth, like a round surface. Otherwise you might find it moves. That should help it along anyway. I'm going to fill it up there full of glue. Do all 3, and then we'll see where we are from there. Now I just glued this with a sanitary grade bathroom and kitchen silicone. It's not paintable. It's a proper sealing kitchen grade or bathroom grade silicone. So what we're going to do is we're going to just squash it into the grooves. This to ever come off. Okay, now that we have this all glued in the back here, find it's nice and strong. You get a little bit of movement, which is okay, not very much, because this flexes, but it won't come out. What we're going to do now is we're going to put that over top like that. As you can see, we don't want that to be white in there because you'll be able to see through there and see that. So we're going to make it black. So we're going to put some tape around the outside here and just paint just the stem black on all 3 of them. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to paint this section here black. And how we do that to make it really easy is get a bit of scrap plastic like this. We're going to cut a hole in it that is just bigger than this, put it over the top, and then we just spray it black. That way you get no paint on the rest of it. So just like this, sit over like that, hit it with some black paint, move on to the next one. The next thing we want to do to that is you want to grab yourself a cordial container, fruit cup or juice container or something like that. You can use a Coke bottle, but Coke bottle is completely see-through. This is opaque, so you can't really see through it, but light will go through it. I'm going to cut the lens for inside of these 3 Holo Projector eyes. So basically, it's about the size of a 10-cent piece in there for me, so I'm going to use that as a template. But if you can't find a coin that fits, just find a washer that fits in there to give you something to draw around. We can just cut it out with scissors and we're going to glue that in and then give you a nice lens, but not a see-through lens. So when you shine a light in there, it'll look great, but when you don't, it'll just be opaque. Once you've marked them out, you just have to cut them out with a pair of scissors. There we have it, 3 of those. As you can see through it, but just not really well. We kind of want that. We want light to shine through, but not too much else. Now what we have to do is get these and super glue them in. So put a bit of glue around the outside in there like this, in here, and then drop it in. What we need to do now is get some glue and glue along the bottom here. I'm going to put it on top of the Holo Projectors. There we have it, 1, 2, 3. Light in later on if you want to. Overall, that's really, really good. When I paint that silver, it's going to be looking great. But do not paint it silver yet, because we're going to mount these in the dome first. We're going to drill holes through here and the dome before, so basically through here and here, before we paint it. Once we get it fitted and we know it fits in place and everything's good, then we'll paint it then. Otherwise, we'll probably scratch it trying to get it to fit. Okay, now the Holo Projectors are done, we're going to have to put these pieces in here. Obviously the timber fouls on some of it, so we're going to have to trim it back. So on this one I've marked just across the flat spot there. You don't want to go above the ridge. You just want to take the flat piece off. Does nothing anyway. So sand it back with the grinder, and that piece will fit in. That's one. The top one's up here isn't an issue, so we don't need to do that one. So the best one for the top. Let's go with the top. This one here. It's exactly the same problem. Across here. Just like that. I'm going to sand it off. Okay, turns out I have a problem. The one on this side is fine because it's a little bit higher. So this will just sit there like this. Like that, and it's beautiful. The one on the other side is a bit lower. Even though the wood doesn't go past here, it's still below this. This needs to be about 3 or 4 millimeters lower. If I go any further on here, I'm going to lose that shape. So when it'll go in, this will be a flat spot that sticks out, which I don't want. So I want that to go any further than it already has. You can see that. So I'm going to have to shape in there to get this through. So the first step is to round this off as much as I can. So it's not a flat line, so take the edge off around here and here, so it's just this that's fouling, and then get the Dremel and grind a groove in here, about a 3 millimeter deep groove, just so I can get that in. Okay, turns out I have a problem. The one on this side is fine because it's a little bit higher, so this will just sit there like this, like that, and it's beautiful. The one on the other side is a bit lower. Even though the wood doesn't go past here, it's still below this. This needs to be about 3 or 4 millimeters lower. If I go any further on here, I'm going to lose that shape. So when it'll go in, this will be a flat spot that sticks out, which I don't want. So I want that to go any further than it already has. You can see that. So I'm going to have to shape in there to get this through. So the first step is to round this off as much as I can. So it's not a flat line, so take the edge off around here and here, so it's just this that's fouling, and then get the Dremel and grind a groove in here, about a 3 millimeter deep groove, just so I can get that in. Turns out that did the trick. Don't know if you can see it, but there's a groove that's being ground out of there with the Dremel. It's about 3 mil deep. Enough just to get that to come through without any damage. So now that that goes in, we can drill some holes inside here, run it through into this and bolt it in. All 3 of them, in fact. And then after we bolted them in, we know they fit, we can then paint them. The bolts we're going to run through here are 1/8 bolts, about 25 millimeters long, and a nut on the other side. So basically we're just going to drill a hole big enough to go through here, through the dome, and these are countersunk heads, so we countersunk the holes on the outside, so we get screwed in and then filled over. Hopefully we don't see them again. It's sort of loose at the moment, but it's one that wasn't easy to fit, by the way. So although it is done, I'll basically be countersinking these screws that are sitting a bit high at the moment, obviously, but I just wanted to get it in first. Now, painted this silver previously for a reason. I've just got a bit of duct tape on top there just to stop the lens from getting paint on it. Don't want to fold it down because you don't care if you get paint here, but you want to be able to peel this off later. Also, make sure you've sanded all the shine off the plastic. It doesn't matter off here because this is behind the dome. Also, you notice there's 2 holes there. The only reason there's 2 holes there is because I made a mistake. Yes, I know. It doesn't happen very often, but this time it did. So, anyway. So as long as you've taken the shine off here, so the paint will stick to it, and here, and obviously the paint is already going to stick there because we've painted it already, so let's give it a shot. pretty good, I think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.